Hey guys, how's it going? Kripparrian here. So today I want to show you guys what I've come up with so far and constructed in regard to the Mill Druid project. Now, Mill Druid is basically a type of Druid that you want to go through all of your opponent's deck so he eventually dies to fatigue damage, and it's a completely different type of playstyle. A lot of people have tried it, a lot of streamers have tried it, and it's the only type of deck that I really did my research on. I saw what other people are using just so I could really try to make this work because it's so much fun to play. Now, whether I got it to work, I don't know. There are some things in the deck that can use considerable improvement, but when compared to a lot of the other versions that I've seen, I think it's among the better ones, and I want to show you guys the deck here. This is Millhouse, and tell you guys how it's going, how the little combos work, why Druid, why Mill Druid might actually work, and the problems. Well, let's get to the problems first of all. So the problems are a lot of people right now on ladder are playing aggro-y decks. So for instance, Hunters beat this deck pretty well just because if you keep giving them cards, they're going to keep playing them because most of them cost 1, 2, or 3 mana. And the same goes with like Aggro Mage, and Aggro Mage is a real thing on ladder. However, the other side of it, the other control side, this deck does quite well against Paladin, it does quite well against Control Warrior, it does quite well against Handlock, it does quite well against some other slow decks like Priest. Some Priests are slower than others, and those kind of get crushed by this. So it has some really good matchups and it has some really bad matchups. And that's kind of a bad thing for ladder because if you get into a rough patch of matchups, then you just lose. Like this deck, for it to beat Aggro Mage, I don't know what it's going to take. It's going to take a miracle. But for the rest, the main purpose is fun, and it's a lot of fun. So I want to tell you guys about it. I want to show you guys the deck, and let's get started. Why would you play Druid as Mill? Well, there's a lot of traditional cards that make it work. You have Naturalize, which is basically the best removal in the game with a pretty shitty downside, but if your goal is to have your opponent draw as many cards as possible, it's pretty good still. Yeah, it's fine. That's certainly good tempo. You have to have Cold Light Oracles, which draw 2 cards for both players, and this kind of helps you draw out your cards as well. And you want to use those with Youthful Brewmasters whenever you can. Recently to GVG, Blizzard added the Grove Tenders, which kind of are like a mini Cold Light Oracle in terms of their battle cry. You never really use it for mana, but it's very good because it's actually a solid body. 3 for a 2/4 body is very strong as opposed to the 2/2 Cold Light, which is quite weak. You have the traditional Dancing Swords, which make it work. 3 for a 4/4 kind of got passed up in the GVG block, for instance, like the Ogres and that kind of stuff. There's a few cards that are about on par with this. So this card has essentially become shittier because the alternatives are better. But again, you're going for the mill thing, and it's still kind of good. 3 for a 4/4 does challenge just about everything on the 3 slot, except of course King Mukla. And Mukla, this is one of the more sketchy cards in the deck. The idea is that you want to use Mukla to combo with your other force draw mechanics. So for instance, if your opponent has 6 cards and you have Mukla and a Cold Light Oracle, you do Mukla and then you do Cold Light Oracle, and then they basically, when they draw for their turn, because they have 10 cards already, 6 plus 2 plus 2 is 10, when they draw the 1, it'll be discarded. And also you can kind of combo it to really, really remove their cards. So let's say if you need to use 2 Naturalizes, they're at 6 cards, you can do Mukla, Naturalize, and not only will that pretty much destroy 2 cards out of their deck, well, you get to mill them a little bit more. And this type of deck kind of works because a lot of decks these days in Constructed run based on synergy. And when you break down the synergy, when you just remove random shit from the deck, well, their decks don't really work so well. So you got the traditional Swipe Keeper, but Mechanical Yeti was another very good addition. While it's not really that it gives a real card, it's a spare part is a 1 mana spell essentially. They can probably get rid of it, but you kind of use it in a similar sense like Mukla. Like if you can sacrifice the Yeti, you can then combo it. So for instance, if they're at 7 cards and you have a Mukla and a Naturalize, you can kill off your Yeti, put them at 8, Mukla, give them 2 bananas, Naturalize, and then they discard 3 cards off top of their deck, 2 from Naturalize, 1 from their draw. So, it's a very different type of play style. Elite Tauren Chieftain, I had some people ask me why I use this card. So some decks, the extra card is kind of crappy, and in that case you can just play him as is. It's another force draw for your opponent. Or if you feel that the cards in your opponent's decks are basically better to draw than the Elite Tauren Chieftain. You can just play him at a point where your opponent has 10 cards and you're the only one who gets the rock draw. I use Malorn. I think the Malorn is a pretty decent card in this deck, in this type of deck. It's not a very powerful creature in its own. It doesn't do anything right away. Like compared to Dr. Boom, I think Dr. Boom is a very, very good substitute. But in a lot of cases, I found myself actually milling myself, specifically against Priest, and I felt that this card really made the difference in a few, not too many, but a few matches. Plus, I really wanted to try to play this card. I use Trogzor, the Earthinator, kind of in the same fashion as Lotheb. For instance, if your opponent has a lot of cards, you want to prevent them from using that cards. You want to essentially deny, so they have as many cards when it becomes your turn again, so you can more easily mill them continuously. And the idea is, like, you know, you have Mechanical Yetis producing spare parts, you have King Mulkas producing bananas. If you Lotheb or Trogzor, they're not going to be able to play these things, and because of that, you're going to get an opportunity, you know, to have an easier time milling them. A Clockwork Giant is an extremely good addition in Goblin vs. Gnomes with this type of deck, because when your opponent has 10 cards in hand, this guy is a 2-mana 8/8, which is about as value as it gets in this game. So very, very good stuff. This is kind of like the punch of the deck. Often decks these days have removal for bigger creatures, but because you have decent mid-game, decent late game, and it's kind of sporadic and it comes out at random times, and you have like ridiculous tempo turns, often you can usually just grind out the game to the point where they have no cards in their deck, and, well, you have cards in your deck, so you basically win. And it does kind of work. However, the reason I run Tree of Life ×2 is I don't know if I'd actually win any games at all if it wasn't for casting Tree of Life during each game. And because I don't think I can win almost any game without casting Tree of Life, I kind of wanted two, so I'd draw one before I lose. But overall, it is a pretty mediocre card in this type of deck. You want to have Tree of Life in a deck that has really big creatures, so you can utilize the heal on your creatures at the same time as the heal on your player. So some people, what they've done for this type of deck is they've used Antique Healbots. Antique Healbot is a pretty good substitute for Tree of Life, but I think I'd still run one Tree of Life and then maybe two Antique Healbots. I'm not too sure. But you do need some healing because you do take some damage. So, you know, there's a lot of flexibility. Kind of work around this type of theme, see how it works, see what you're weak against, and you try your best with this type of deck. Also, another variation that I've seen is some people run the combo. They run Force of Nature, Savage Roar, one copy of each, but because you draw yourself with Grove Tenders and with Collate Oracles, you're basically going to eventually draw. So you don't really need two. You have, you know, a little bit more draw than the traditional Druid deck, but a lot more control. So you can usually get to that stage where you use a combo. So you can kind of incorporate combo in the deck as well, but I don't really find those games too fun. I just wanted to fuck with my opponents and really give them a hard time. And, well, this deck is pretty good at that. So I encourage you guys to try it. I'm going to show you guys a few games. I think these are actually the first few games that I played with this deck. And, well, you guys will get to see. This is a really cool thing. I'm hoping that, you know, as we've seen with GVG, Blizzard has pushed this idea of Milled Druid further than it was prior to the expansion. So if they push it just a little bit more, if there are, you know, aggro tools that are maybe a little bit stronger, or if people start playing really, really heavy control, this might actually be a thing. So if you have fun with this type of deck, try it out, make it your own, and, well, again, I wouldn't be too surprised to see it in like a tournament format, because this is a pretty good like counter pick in a tournament. If people are playing like a, you know, a bit of control, a bit of aggro. If you lose a game with aggro, you can use this to basically hard counter their control decks. So, Milled Druid's a thing. Whether it's this version, or another, or maybe the timing is a little bit off, I don't know. But I just want to show you guys the idea. The games are probably the funnest I've had since the expansion was launched, so check it out. Don't miss it. Hope you guys enjoy it. And I'll see you guys tomorrow. Let's keep all of it. I don't know if I, yeah, I don't know if I can mill out a combo Druid. be pretty hard to do. I mean, I can mill him right now, but I think that's a bad idea, man. I think that's a really bad idea. I'd have to mill the draw. It would be Elite Tarn Chieftain and naturalize a 1/1. Nah, I can't do that. That's too much.
Not enough value for you?
Nah, not enough value for me. Wild growth. Got a Horde Warrior. Rogue's Duel from behind is the best one here for him. I think there's 4 cards. I'm not sure.
I have no time for games.
I could go for a silence play into naturalize. No. Let's trade.
The great outdoors.
Time waits for no one.
Snakes. It has to be snakes.
Alright, good thing we still have naturalize. And we are gonna get a mill off here. Just important if I can get more mill.
Trouble?
Wait, let me try Wrath here. Maybe I can draw more here. Swipe, no. Alright.
For the wild.
Rip the Keeper. It's not too much. I need my big threats. There's a reasonably sized one.
I have returned.
Trouble?
Right now I think I'm dead to combo. Recycle. Okay. That's fine.
Trouble?
I don't know if I want to innervate right now. Like, innervate's really strong with Tree of Life. I guess I do. Alright. That's pretty cool.
I must safeguard the land. I must safeguard the land. For the wild.
Safeguarding the land, boys. Yeah? Okay.
Where shall I strike?
Ah, the great outdoors.
My hand is too full.
I'm dead to combo here.
My hand is too full.
5 plus 9, 9, 23. He's got a 23 damage combo. This is really funny though.
Snakes. It has
Oh shit. Well, it just got pretty real. Fuck.
Feel nature's wrath. Feel nature.
8 burst is certainly possible. Most likely I'm dead here, but if I'm not, I'll get a really good tree of life. Yeah, I have pandas, I just haven't drawn them. I've drawn quite badly this game. Not the worst ever, but quite badly. I mean, it's the first time I'm actually ranking with this deck, so I don't really know what to expect.
what to do. Who dares defy this ancient
What's this? Okay.
Trouble?
There we go. 34 health regained.
Max value.
Yeah. Is it a swipe? No, it can't be. Why would you swipe that though? Isn't the giant a bigger threat?
Time waits for no one.
It has to be wrath. It can't be swipe.
I must safeguard the land.
Okay.
Trouble?
with me, friend.
Ah, the great outdoors.
I'm almost out of cards. I'm out of cards.
Should win this one. I think Mukla is in the deck. Again, I think I've just drawn pretty badly.
play.
Guess I'm never playing Clockwork Giant.
Is close.
Yeah, I'm playing like Control Druid versus Control Druid.
Play. I can see.
It's like the weirdest match.
Protect the wild.
In before Handlock. I think this deck could be pretty good against Handlock. You discard like Jiraxxus, like one giant, and then you just win, basically. Alright, so against the Control Warrior, so everything is going to do is super predictable.
For the wild.
Okay. Here you might play like a weapon.
Armor made to fit.
Damn, it's 2 cards. Thing is, I'm at 10 cards right now. So if I play the Yeti and it gets killed, I basically mill myself. That's why I think I should play the swords here. It's the smallest creature that actually challenges the board. It gives them a card, so I have a good clockwork next turn. Okay, 8 again. Good enough here.
Let the pain speak to me.
Back to work.
Execute time. I don't give a shit about his armor, so it's fine.
For the wild.
The only really punishing 7-drop would be Dr. Boom here. He's on 10 cards as well, so if I can get any kind of molly stuff like Naturalize, I'll be in extremely good shape.
Let the pain speak to me.
That looks like a bad card to play right now, bro.
All he wants to do is draw more.
For the wild.
I must safeguard the land.
Job done.
My hand is full.
Iron Juggernaut, Shield Block. Okay. The issue I have is I might run into a Gromash here, and that'll be a little bit too early for me. Yeah, he's got 10 cards left in his deck.
I can take the hit.
That's fine. That's also pretty fine.
I bring life.
Now, the thing here is I would potentially die to quite a few cards that involve Grommash. I don't really have a good way around that though, because it's like I have to Tree of Life the next turn. So the best thing I could really do is hope to get a taunt here. Stealth, no. Well, let's draw a card before we decide what we want to do. Let's get rid of that garbage. And I think we'll get ready to rock here. It's really all about if he has a Grommash combo or not.
My hand is full.
This is Grommash or bust. Well, he doesn't necessarily have Grommash. Like, there's still 5 cards left in the deck. I've discarded quite a few. Execute. That gives him another spare part. I got a taunt now. That's pretty good. He's gonna draw some more. Okay, he's trying not to be milled. Seems reasonable to me.
Trouble?
The thing is, I don't have an answer for Grom right now. What?
Back to work.
That was mean. The fuck, bro?
I must safeguard the land.
Let's go the Horde Warrior. Yeah! That's my kind of Horde Warrior.
Pretty nice. Pretty nice.
Yeah.
I can take the hit.
You have a lot of armor, but not many cards, Mr. Garrosh.
Feel nature's wrath.
I guess I should have drawn. No.
For honor. Earth all upon us. I have returned.
There we go.
I'm almost out of cards.
I don't want to take any damage. He's brawling. He'll be back. He's got one card. He's gonna draw that anyway, so
Great outdoors.
basically I'm the one drawing cards here. If I pan that, that's 5 mana. It'll make this cost 4, so it's a total of 9. So I can do that.
Drink with me, friend.
Ah, the great outdoors.
Oh, that's a good card right now.
I don't have enough mana.
Oh, I'm retarded! He doesn't have cards to draw! Oh, shit. Ah, shit. Whatever. Okay. There's nothing to draw. I'm like, oh man, my sick calculations are gonna pull through. Not so sick. Well played. Yeah. There's a small chance I might lose still, because Warriors have so much burst, but it's pretty unlikely.
Armor made to fit.
Okay. Whoa. Discount.
Trouble?
I have Malorn in here. Oh, he's running double brawl. Oh shit. Okay. Sick. Now I can't shield slam it. No. Alright. Oh god, this is so amazing. Five, 6. Is that lethal? I think so. 7, 8. 9.